Good day, everyone. This is Jave Delaza Largo, and today I will be discussing to you about the developing a learning plan integrating ICT from identified language competencies, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. But before we delve to our discussion, let's have first our learning objectives. So here's our learning objectives. At the end of the learning sessions, learners should be able to first identify the four major language competencies: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Use ICT tools appropriately to practice English language skills. Then, demonstrates understanding of spoken and written English through technology supported activities. Next, express ideas clearly through oral and written digital activities. And lastly, produce appropriate language output using digital tools responsibly. So here's our introduction. ICT is an important part of modern language teaching and learning English. It gives students more ways to practice listening, speaking, reading, and writing using digital resources. When creating an ICT integrated learning plan, teacher should first identify the English skills students needs to improve. After that, they can choose suitable ICT tools and activities that will help students develop the skills and achieve the expected learning outcomes. These language competencies may include listening, reading, writing, speaking, vocabulary, grammar, and viewing. In short, teachers should first know what students need to learn, then choose the right technology and activities to help them learn it effectively. Language competencies and ICT integration. So we have four major competencies: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. These four major language competencies that students need to develop in learning English. First, we have listening, understanding spoken English and what other people say. Next, speaking, express ideas orally. Then, reading, understanding and interpreting written text. And lastly, writing, expressing ideas clearly through written language. These four skills help students understand English, communicate with others, and express their ideas effectively. ICT can be used to provide activities and digital resources that help students practice each skill. Listening competency. Listening competency refers to a learner's ability to understand and interpret spoken language. It involves more than simply hearing words. Learners need to recognize vocabulary, understand the speaker message, distinguish important information, and connect ideas to understand the overall meaning. In English, learning strong listening skills helps students participate in conversations, follow instructions, and respond appropriately. So, ICT tool or resources, we have educational videos, audio, recording, speakers, projector, and computer. The teacher provide a short English video, podcast, or recorded conversation. As students listen carefully and take note of key information. After listening, they answer questions about the speaker message, main idea, supporting details, and important vocabulary. The recording may be played again so students can check or improve their understanding. So the expected outcome, students will improve their ability to understand spoken English, identify key information, recognize the speaker's main message, and respond appropriately to questions on what they hear. Next, we have speaking competency. So, speaking competency is the ability of learners to use English effectively to communicate with other people. It requires learners to organize their thought, choose suitable words, and construct understandable sentences and deliver their message with confidence. Speaking activities also helps learners develop pronunciation, fluency, and their ability to respond appropriately in different communication situations. ICT can support this competency by giving students a convenient way to practice, record, and evaluate their spoken English. So the ICT tools or resources are smartphone, tablet, video recorder, PowerPoint, or presentation software. The activity, students choose a familiar topic and prepare a short presentation. They use digital presentation to support their ideas and record themselves while delivering to 2 to 3 minutes speech. After recording, students review their performance and identify areas they can improve, such as pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, or fluency. So the expected outcome, students will be able to communicate their thoughts in English in an organized and understandable manner while demonstrating appropriate vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and fluency. They will also develop a greater awareness of their own speaking strengths and areas for improvement. Next, we have reading competency. Reading competency is the ability to gain meaning from written language and use information from a text to develop understanding. It involves recognizing words, connecting ideas, making interpretation, and evaluating information presented by the writer. Developing this competency helps learners become more independent in studying because they can obtain knowledge from different written sources. ICT can support reading development by giving students access to very digital, very digital materials and interactive reading activities. So the ICT tools or resources are digital articles, ebooks, PDF files, Google Docs, digital libraries, educational websites, and other teacher-selected digital reading materials. So the activity, students read a teacher-selected um, digital text and complete a set of comprehension tasks. They identify the author main point, locate evidence that supports the ideas and the text, and examine unfamiliar words based on how they are used in the surrounding sentence. Students may also use digital highlighting or annotation tools to mark relevant parts of the text. So the expected outcomes, students will be able to understand and interpret information from digital text, distinguish major ideas from supporting information, and use context to develop their meaning and unfamiliar vocabulary. They will also become more capable of, using digital reading materials for learning and information gathering. Writing competency. So writing competency is the ability to express thoughts, informations, and ideas clearly through written language. It involves organizing ideas logically and using appropriate vocabulary, grammar, spelling, and punctuation. ICT support these skills by making the writing process easier to develop, revise, and also improve. ICT tools resources are Google Docs, Microsoft Word, online dictionaries, and other teachers approved writing tools. So the activity, students write a short paragraph on a given topic using digital writing platform. They review and revise their work by checking grammar, spelling, punctuation, word choice, and organizing before submitting it. So the expected outcome, students will be able to produce a clear, organized and coherent grammatical appropriate paragraph using digital writing tools. So the importance of ICT integration, why it is crucial. ICT integration is essential because it expands how students can learn, practice, and apply language skills. Digital tools can make lessons more engaging, provide access to varied learning materials, and allow learners to practice their own pace. However, technology is most effective when it intentionally chosen to address a specific learning goal. Therefore, teachers should focus on how ICT improves learning rather than using technology simply for its presence in the classroom. So now we have ICT integration framework. The learning plan follows a clear and purposeful process. First, identify the language skill to be developed. Next, choose an ICT tool that support that skill. Then also, create an activity that allows students to apply and practice it. And finally, establish the technology. Or what I mean is establish a measurable learning outcome, and this ensures that technology is used as a means to improve learning rather than as an activity on its own. So the conclusion, ICT integration can strengthen language learning when technology is intentionally connected to clear learning goals. By aligning listening, speaking, writing, or reading competencies with suitable digital tools and purposeful activities, learners can gain more opportunities to practice and improve their English skills. Ultimately, the effectiveness of ICT depends not on the technology itself, but on how well the teacher uses it to support learner needs and intended outcomes. References, and thank you for listening.